Hello, and welcome to the next review of the Star Wars novels. This time, I'll be doing two of them, doing Bloodlines and Tempest. These are both from the Legacy of the Force. First one, Bloodlines. This one here is more centered around, you can see a huge in-depth explanation around Boba Fett, what he's become, where he's going, his past, possibly future. And it was really kind of an interesting book to see all this thrown into it. You see a lot of the cool storyline of the Mandalorians, where they were, basically where they're at right now. We see where their little history of their planet, where it's been, where they're all living at right now. We also learned that Boba Fett is called the Mandalore, which is kind of like the ruler or keeper of all the Mandalorians. We find, you know, they're more of a peaceful kind of people when they're not hunting or at war. You see them, they're getting farmlands and what their men and women are doing. In this book we discover that Boba Fett's got a sidekick, I don't know if you want to call it that, and he's off looking for his wife. And this girl that's with him has a necklace charm that she's been carrying with her that was belonging to Fett's wife, and he wanted to know what happened to her and his daughter. Now, as we go into the series, also as well, we see Jaqen, who's becoming more and more towards the dark side. We see how he's growing and basically becoming a badass. In the series, we see a lot more of how Jaqen is becoming more towards the dark side, how there's a lot of things going on that we see that are parallel to the original trilogy that we saw. We see him, he's now becoming like the leader of the Galactic Alliance force. He's detaining people, he's interrogating people, and we see him in one scene, he's in an interrogation room, and he's basically not even touching this prisoner. He's using force powers to basically get information from them or torturing them. During the examination, the person dies. We later find out, though, as an interesting twist, that it's actually Boba Fett's daughter that Jaqen kills. So here we got something from our original shows of the whole Han and Boba Fett thing, but now we've got Jaqen has now killed Fett's daughter, the one that he's kind of been looking for and seeing what's happening with this. Problem is, though, when Han and Leia find out, they kind of look at each other like, are you going to tell him, or do you want me to tell him? So they're trying to figure out between the two of them what they're going to do, because eventually we're going to have to figure this out. Before leading up to that, we see some interesting things as well. We see Fett going after Han again just to try and lure a bounty hunter out in the open, which he believes is his daughter. Interesting twist, we see Han gets to don Boba Fett's armor and puts it on because they're going after to kill someone else, basically his cousin. As we see this, it's kind of interesting. Han gets a view perspective of what it's like inside the armor. You see the two of them going off and fighting side by side, which is, I guess, kind of weird from what we're used to seeing. At the very end, after they reveal to Boba Fett that his son has killed his daughter, they kind of look at Fett going, are we going to be okay with this? And Fett's basically, well, you got your own problems. They're bigger than anything I could ever do to you, which is the whole, his son going crazy and detaining people and killing people and stuff like that. We also see Ben Skywalker. He actually kills this first person doing a raid. That kind of freaks him out a bit, and he runs back to his parents just to say, you know what, I'm having some issues with this. With that, we come to our next book, Tempest, which I happen to have here actually. We got a picture of Tenel Ka on the front, which is Jaqen's secret love, if you were. We can see her holding a green lightsaber. Missing part of her arm as she had in a lightsaber accident in the past earlier books. With this book here, it leads, basically it's a huge war book. There's a huge space battle in it, there's a huge lightsaber duel in it, so it's got a lot of action in it. It does have a couple slow points leading up to all of it, but we see a lot of interesting things starting to develop. Luke's still having the visions of this dark Jedi that's sitting on a throne laughing at him maniacally in his visions. We've got the Dark Jedi Master running around, we've got Amun-Ra running around. Now, in the rest of the series, we're wondering, well, we kind of know, but we see everyone else wondering, are Luke and Leia traitors? We see assassination attempts. on Jaken's secret love. They think that's their part of it, but we find out really they just got caught up. They were sent there, and it's a huge mess up happened, so nobody knew what was going on. So they're off on their own. We find out later on that Jaken hears this information. He kind of misinterprets it, as we find out towards the end. He's actually shooting at the Falcon. He's on his Star Destroyer that he's called the Anakin, which is kind of like his deceased brother's name. He decided to name it for that. So he's on his bridge and he's shooting at his parents on the ship. And also on the ship we have his sister and his cousin, Ben. He knows all this, but he's still firing on it. Basically the Falcon gets the crap beat out of it, and it's one of those scenes you're like, how are they going to get out of this? Is basically the Falcon is ripped apart, people have died on it now, and it's not holding together too well. So we see Han, he gets them all out of the ship, and he's left, him and Leia are left on the ship, and they kind of look at each other thinking these are going to be the last moments, but in the end they're able to just barely get away. So it's kind of weird, and afterwards we find out Jaken finally understands, like, oh, I made a mistake. But we have to wonder throughout this whole thing, we've always got this dark Jedi that's telling Jaken that, you know, I'm going to teach you the ways, that everything's going to be good, we're misunderstood. But we know that she's actually pulling strings for something else bigger to happen. It hasn't really revealed itself yet, so I'm just wondering, we all think of this one role going on, but there's something else in behind the scenes kind of going on with it. The whole escape from the Falcon thing, when it's being shot down, we see Ben actually trying to arrest Han for crimes. Now it's kind of weird, like they're all about to die and Ben's going to arrest them. Kind of a weird scene that plays out in that. They're struggling, and Ben actually stabs Zek, who is another Jedi, in the stomach, and find out later he's going to be okay, but still it freaks Ben out a little bit more. There's also an interesting scene as well. We get to see Luke and his son in a training simulator. Luke's trying to test him out to see if he's basically, Jaken's teaching him any dark side things. We see them in training battles and stuff. It's kind of interesting to see father and son dueling it out. And we also have this huge lightsaber battle that we see. It's got EternalRogue, Luke, Mara, and Lumina, which is the Dark Lady of the Sith. She has her little lightsaber light whip going at it, but the problem is, as they're fighting, Mara finds out that there's bombs strapped to them, and they can't kill them because it's hooked up to their heart. So if they die, these bombs will go off and basically kill everybody. So it's like this battle that they can't win, and we see Luke, he's hurt bad. He loses his hand, well, his artificial hand. Been a long time coming for that. I suppose he needed an upgrade. He's also wounded, and he's ready to kill. You know, got to get rid of these things because they're causing too much trouble. Whether or not he would kill her or not, well, can't really see on that one right now. In the end, there's an explosion. We don't know what really happens to everybody. I suppose we'll find out a little bit later in the next books what's going on. But it's an interesting thing, and they think that Jaken set them up by sending them to this station, and they ran into these two Dark Jedi. So now everybody's wondering what's going on with Jaken. Is he setting us up for all this stuff? Is he planning on killing us? Is he too far gone? And throughout the whole series we see he's constantly battling with himself. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I have to have this huge sacrifice. Am I going to have to kill the ones I love? What should I do? He's basically still believing that he's doing the right thing, even though he's probably causing more trouble than good. All in all, the books are becoming really, really well done. I'm on the next one right now, seeing where this is all going to go. Hopefully we'll get some more huge epic battle stories out of it, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. So stay tuned, and we'll see how the next review goes for the next one, which should be out soon. Thank you.